Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut, and that's right. Mike Kelly's finally here after a week.
Back
from DC. So that's I said it was like that old movie. Mike went to Washington.
Yeah.
Nobody understood.
Nobody understood it. That was an old movie. Who was in that?
That's a dude from It's a Wonderful Life.
Right. Jimmy Stewart.
Yep. That was the day.
Can you hear me? Am I here? So what do you got this morning?
I got a lot, so you go first.
I'll go with these numbers real quick.
All right. Well, you said you had some
Yeah,
stuff
I've got some bills I want to talk about as well. Let me make this just a little bit bigger. If I can. I swear I can. Okay, we'll do it this.
And one of the
it doesn't
engines
work very well.
That's good enough.
746 listings. Woo! That's considerably more than what there were.
This is Stanislaus County.
Ago. Yeah, this is just Stanislaus County. When I was in DC, they talked about an increase in listings, but you and I talk about that every week, and it is still, when you compare the numbers and the percentages, it's a very low percentage of increased listings, not expected to help the inventory crisis.
Well, that's here in California.
Yeah. Well, and they're talking nationwide, except for Texas and Florida.
Yeah, that's where it's all though. That's where the big push is. Where the numbers are coming from.
Exactly. 336 pendings. Boy, we just hang in the 300s every week, and then 1,416 closings.
Well, I mean, that's 746s. We've been around that for a while now. The
active, maybe 2 weeks.
I guess where we saw it last month.
No, we were in the high sixes.
Okay.
What's the math on
269?
Is it 216? Thanks for doing that real quick.
I did it already.
Hey, I want to bring your attention to some
Let's
bills.
drop that back down. I'll do that.
Yeah, I will. Okay.
All right. So when you're in DC, there's some bills
DC,
you want to talk. How many bills do you have? Because let me get through my stuff if it's a lot.
There's 4 I'm going to talk about.
Okay. I just got 2 things to talk about.
Okay, go for it.
So why don't we do that? All right. So stocks and mortgage bonds are up today, which means Wall Street's feeling pretty good. And the reason, do you know why? You've been gone too long. Inflation came in lower than expected, and the U.S. China are working on a trade deal that could help both sides get important materials and tech they need.
Cool.
And that's that. I mean, that right there sums up today. Inflation numbers came in. Prices went up 1/10 in May, less than expected.
Okay.
This is on inflation. Inflation is now at 2.4% over the past year, which is way better than they feared. Energy prices dropped, keeping the cost down. Food prices rose a bit, but that was about half of the total increase. Core inflation, which leaves out food and gas, all the expensive stuff.
Right.
Also, though, came in at 1/10 for the month, and they were expecting 3/10. So we're rallying
3/10, and it came in at 1/10.
Yeah, so that's like if you have 1/10 there, and you're supposed to have 3/10 there, and they only had 1, it's much better.
Much better.
You don't have those neighbors eating all your food.
Those are picking their garden out.
Yeah. So the Fed is in charge of setting short-term interest rates, and with inflation slowing down, they think, and the jobs weakness that we see out there, they think that Fed should start lowering rates in September. Yeah, so that would help a little bit. Mortgage applications jumped last week. Home purchases applications were up 10%. I saw that. Refinance applications were up 16%. Did not see that. However, this is probably likely just a Memorial Day holiday jump. So, where like a lot of people that week didn't do anything.
Right.
With rates still right around 7%, it's just people aren't jumping off the, I've gotten busier people looking, which is good because I think people are finally at that point where they have to do something, and they're doing it.
Yeah, I'm getting busier putting properties on the market too, which is nice.
Because according to HousingWire and a bunch of other people, I don't know if you saw the Redfin article a couple weeks ago. It said there was 500,000 more homes than buyers out there. Did you see that one?
No.
Yeah, that was. I mean, you're on a week.
Where?
They're not. They aren't out there.
I know.
That's meaning right now there's 1.9 million households, right? And people. Okay. And according to that, we'd have to have 2.5 million, 2.4 million on the market in order to have 500,000 more. But that article has been going everywhere, and people have been posting it, and so everybody's like, well, I'm afraid to buy now because there's so many houses on the market. Well, that's when we're nowhere close to that number. And according to earlier this week, last thing I'll say, HousingWire only showed that we had 808,564 on the market. That's listing inventory. That's 5,000 up from last week, which is, we were 16, 20,000 each week prior to that. And now we're just getting back to about 5,000.
The number and the grumble in the hallways of DC when we were 8,000 realtors were walking through and meeting their Congress people and senators and all the other likes. 4.7 million in the rears for households for America. And
I mean, to be built.
And I think more people were saying it's probably more like 5 million, not 4.7 million. I don't know why they were trying to.
I think it's actually more than that, because we don't even know how many illegals are in this country.
Exactly. Well, there's getting to be fewer and fewer.
No, there's not. There's only a few 100,000 gone.
Yeah, but it's still fewer. So that's a positive note. I think what's going on in LA is an absolute sham. And
they lost in court.
Huh?
Newsom lost in court.
Yeah. And I think that's wonderful. And the fact that there were pallets and pallets and pallets of cinder blocks delivered for these protesters. And
vans backing up with masks for them that you can only get at Walmart online.
Exactly. And so they
were saying the Walmart lady is behind that.
Oh, the Walmart lady?
Yeah,
well, they're saying that Blue America is behind it, and that's the Democrat coalition that wants to just destroy America.
Well, anyway, it's the easiest way to do it. They're all hired. That's why they're not last night, but the night before, they were arresting all the ones that are normal people out there protesting that are normal. Just that's all they do.
Right.
They're paid to be out there, and they were arresting all them.
Between $6,000 and $18,000 is what they're paying them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Each?
Damn.
That's
a lot of money.
Job.
That's a lot of money. I could use that.
Yeah.
So we have some bills that are going to be I think they're going to pass easily, and we still need your support. So there is HR 1340 House. It's a House bill.
Right. That's why I started.
House resolution.
That's why I started HR.
I always want to say puffin stuff. Support the More Homes on the Market Act, and that's to decrease
90%
the equity
of people are
penalty.
going, what the hell's puffin stuff? Is that the new thing? Is that a new type of weed at the dispensary?
Huff and puff and stuff. You remember
that? I know. I said half the people.
Well, they're always, they're going to think,
snack. What's that? What was
Mike's hep? He smokes. The decrease the equity penalty and incentive more long-term homeowners to sell their homes. So what that means is
you can just look straight. I'm right there.
Currently, but I haven't seen you for a while, so I thought I'd look over and gaze upon your face. Homeowners can currently sell their principal residence, and if they're a single filer, meaning only one person in the household, you can exempt $250,000 from your proceeds that would be tax-free. They're affixing, they're going to, and they want to, and this bill will most likely pass, move that to $500,000, and a married couple would be $1 million. So that will free up a lot of people who are stuck in their home saying, I've got $800,000 worth of equity, and I'm not selling. And
so giving, like a Bay Area people, and LA people.
I'm not giving $300,000 to the government. Sorry, not going to do it.
Well, it's 20. It's a capital gains is about 22,000 per 100,000.
Right.
So that's what you're giving them.
Exactly.
So on 300,000, you give them 66,000.
It's a lot.
Well, that'll free up a lot of people who are thinking not to do stuff and they want to do stuff. But that's the question is, are they going to leave California?
Yeah. So HR 2840
must be another House bill.
It is. It's another House bill.
I don't know how I know that.
It's kind of partnered with the Senate.
Is that
bill
the HR part?
Could be the HR House resolution to create a national strategy for boosting housing production and affordability by reducing barriers to new housing development. You and I have been talking about this for a couple of years.
So that means we're getting rid of Newsom and the mayor of LA, who they've only been able to do 55 permits since January.
Yeah, exactly. That would be one. Those are two barriers. And then decrease the cost of doing so.
I miss you, man. I haven't been able to talk like this. It's just been the facts.
Yeah. I've been listening to you, and it is just the facts.
Well, it's hard to talk to yourself while you're doing it.
Yeah. So. Well, if you're me, I've got several personalities running in there, so it's not that difficult.
All right.
Okay. Support HR 2410. Revitalizing Downtowns and Main Street Act, and that would be convert underused commercial properties into residential and mixed-use housing. Assemblyman Heath Flora and I and a couple of other guys had talked about that probably 5 years ago. So it looks like it's finally getting some teeth. May happen. That could increase.
Are we talking about zoning, or are we just talking about because a lot of the buildings won't work?
Right. That would be rezoning, and then if the building can work, great. If it can't, I don't know that you're going to have a developer go in there and pay the cost of bringing it.
What they should do is give grants. So back in the day, the government was into housing, building housing. They built the most homes during the 50s. That was their job.
Right.
That's what they did, and they give out money to build all these communities. They don't do that anymore, and they should do those grants instead of doing the stupid grants they do for homeless and places and stuff like that, where they waste a lot of money.
Lastly,
I'm sorry.
Support HR is another
House bill.
Yeah.
House got the bills
3526, and they're looking for co-sponsors. There's co-sponsors are changing on these left and right, but these are all bipartisan bills. So you've got people, Republicans and Democrats, that are working on these, which means they most likely will pass. Uplifting First-Time Home Buyers Act bothers me when it's just first-time home buyers, but we have to remember that a first-time home owner is someone who hasn't owned a home for the past 3 years.
Correct. It's not
so you would qualify.
Yeah.
So currently, you're going out.
So if my trust owns it, do I own it?
No. Yes. No. Yes. No. That's like a Star Trek computer question. They're not going to be able to figure that one out. They're going to start smoking at the ears. So currently, you can borrow. You can take out $10,000 from your IRA,
correct,
tax-free, to help with your down payment and closing costs. Because of the rise in prices, they're saying move that to $50,000 tax-free. So that could help a lot of people who
that could be 10%
have the
instead
income,
of 5%.
Yeah, exactly. Have the income to qualify, but not the down payment and the closing costs.
So it could be used for either, just 50,000 taken out.
Yeah, you can use for down payment, closing costs, whatever. Those are some great bills. There's one more bill, but who cares?
Well, they're still working on the trigger lead one. It's going through the House right now too.
Yes.
But the problem with the current one is it's based off of if they have the transaction, that person can call you, but nobody else can call you. I wanted nobody calls you, because the person who just bought the Redfin and the other stuff are horrible about hounding you.
Yeah.
And now they have Mr. Cooper. You'll never. Yeah, they just hound, and they shouldn't be able to hound you like that.
I agree. Leave me alone. I've got my thing in works. Leave me alone.
Yeah, if I wanted to go with you, I would have called you.
Yeah.
I just want it to be, they can't sell any information about your credit. And I don't understand why they can, because if I give somebody a credit report, I'm in trouble.
Yes. Right. But it's free range, right?
Right.
Oh, someone pulled a credit report. Let's call these people.
I mean, because it's automatic. I had a client yesterday do it, and actually his wife did it, not him. And I was just reached out to him, and they're like, "No, we didn't do it. We just got our place transferred." Well, maybe your wife's not telling you something. Maybe she was out buying something she didn't tell you about.
A brand new car.
Yeah. Well, a lot of those now, everybody's going to soft pulls.
Yeah.
The only thing, and we can, I prefer a hard pull on a credit report, because then nothing changes. On a soft pull, things can change. Yes. When I pull it, we're done. You can go put some stuff on your credit cards. We won't know about it. It won't mess with your FICO score. But if it's a soft pull, we'll know, because we got to do a hard right before close.
Now, you were telling me that foreclosures or bankruptcies don't necessarily pull up on a credit report.
They're not. Yeah, they're not public records. They're not showing on like they used to.
So
we really have to ask now.
Okay. And I guess this person asked this person that was buying the trailer, and that's
no, they'll find that out when they do like a public search, and once it's getting towards more into underwriting.
It wasn't, but it blew up in 3 days. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, that's why I'm buying a trailer.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and what got me is I've had people not qualify for the park, but qualify for the loan. They qualified for the park. They were all pre-qualified with the
Because
park.
it's not in the credit
I
report.
know, exactly.
And they don't do any more than that. They don't search any further.
I
When was their bankruptcy? Like recent?
August, it'll be 3 years.
It depends on who, again, if that conventional, it's, I think it's 3 years, right?
Right.
I haven't ran into it's funny because you don't run into stuff sometimes, and I haven't run into a bankruptcy in a while.
Yeah, well, people have equity.
No, I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
Where somebody, for a while there, 10 years ago, it was constant. Every fourth person had a bankruptcy in the last year or so. True that, brother. So that's me. That's it. Thanks for bringing the bills back. We were wondering what you were doing there the whole time.
Eating Old Ebbett's Grill.
Is that where you were?
God, they've got great food.
Oh.
Great food. Close to the hotel, although I can't walk it. Oh, just to let you know.
How's your back? Did anything happen to your back?
I'm getting an MRI this afternoon.
All right, good. All right. Anything else you got to talk about?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, thanks for all those information. Reach out to your congressman or congressperson.
Reach out to everybody and just say,
talking about
the
bills. Yeah, we want them to pass, and reach out to them about getting rid of the governor and the idiot mayor, because right now they're blaming Trump for all the problems in LA, not the fact that there's
if you send
millions
the
and millions.
guard in there, it's gonna escalate and it's gonna be bad.
Because it's mostly
peaceful.
No, yeah.
You showed me where it was mostly peaceful.
Well, did you see the one guy from CNN that was on there, and he's like, it's a mostly there are little fires, and there's freaking huge fire going behind him.
Yeah. These are just people out here having fun watching cars burn, is what he said. I'm like, you guys.
Well, when they block the freeway, they do what they do. That's the actual police chief down there. I think it was police chief, who is not a fan of Trump, said they needed help.
Yeah.
At the time, because they were overwhelmed. And that's right then, if you look at the law, that means they have to send that it's unrest, and that means send in National Guard.
Right.
That's what that means.
Yep.
Because if it was a flood or a fire, they just had a fire, they would send the National Guard in also.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just ridiculous. These people, and keep doing it, please. Because that means 26 will change, and California will no longer be tarnished. We might be golden again. All right, I'm done. I'll be here all day.
That'll be good.
Yes.
All right.
Make it a great day, and we will talk to you tomorrow.
There we go.
All right, bye.
Bye.